We're live. Hey, what's up, everybody? All 0 viewers of you. Unless there's a lag and there really is somebody watching, then oh, there we go. There was a little bit of a lag. Hello, all 2 of you. As you can see, the timer's going. We're live, and we'll get started shortly. Have you ever bulk created content before? Let us know. What's your method? Or if you haven't, what are your questions?
By the way, actually,
Helen's back, or Haylene. I never know how to pronounce your name, and you never correct me.
I actually have a question. I actually have information for people to get their questions ready, because I'm going to talk about how bulk creation works and how I've done it in the past. And then if you have something that you want me to tell you how to bulk create, like if you have an idea for a series and you want to know how to bulk create that, that's a great question to have at the end of this webinar when we go through everything.
That is a good idea. But anyway, Helen says, hello. Hello.
Hello, Helen.
Helen says, I have an idea. What's your idea? And then Slushbox Films, welcome back, Slushbox, says, hey, it's me, MB. Glad you're here. Beep, beep, MFers. Oh, now we have even more viewers. Welcome. Slushbox Film says, you can call me MB. Slushbox is my YouTube channel. I will do my best to remember, because the name that comes up is Slushbox, but I will try to remember to call you MB. Helen says, I am creating a tarot deck. I want short stories about the cards as characters so I can animate them. So you're trying to, Helen, if I'm understanding, are you, oh, I see. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, Victor, did you hear her idea?
Sorry, no, say it again.
Helen says, I am creating a tarot deck. I want short stories about the cards as characters so I can animate them.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Actually, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is probably going to be very useful to you because I am going to talk about how I used AI to make like animations for one of the things, and I think you could do the same thing.
Oh, I'm excited for that. Helen says, yay. I agree. Yay, indeed. Helen, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Helen or Haylene or something else? You said Heleene. So I'm gonna assume that's Helene. Is that right? Helene?
All right, now I'm going to start cleaning up my Chrome tabs.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Let's get those.
I occasionally go weeks without turning my computer off because I don't want to lose my tabs, even though I know my tabs will come back once I turn my computer back on. But then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have this many tabs. I wish there was a better way to organize them. So I could just like have them all bundled, but not have them open. You know what I mean? Like I can close them all at once to free up bandwidth, but then they can reopen all at once on the right page.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Chrome tabs and an organizational feature I wish they had. Helene says, yep. Okay, I got it. Helene. Helene says, vertical tabs in Microsoft Edge makes them easier to read what they are. Interesting.
Where does Helene hang out? Where is she from?
Yeah, Helene, where are you from? And Helene also says, I still have too many. Yeah, I think that's relatable. Oh, look, StreamYard has a referral link in here now.
Hold on. I am almost done.
Helene is from Pennsylvania. Helene, I'm from New Jersey. I've spent a lot of time in various sections of Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh, what great information.
Victor, I'm going to put this prefab referral link share in all the YouTube comments. Is that cool?
Sure, that's fine. Yeah, I noticed that they started doing that. We got a notification when someone first clicked on StreamYard. We should also talk about like our tech stack. I think that's actually something that's very useful for people so that they can know like, oh, like if you've been, trying to do a lot of content creation for a while, what are things that you settled on and why?
Yeah.
And then also what could be better about your tech and what could be better about your tech stack. That's actually something to think about too.
True. MB is from Arizona. What is a tech stack? What are you talking about?
Well, let's break that down. Okay. Tech is technology.
Uh-huh. Do you mean like what, like softwares? Like what are part of your process?
Yes, exactly that.
Got it. All right, about 1 more minute to go. Get ready, viewers. There's more of you here than a few minutes ago. So if you're new, welcome. Victor, can you relay that message again about ideas that people should start creating in their heads?
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about how bulk content creation works. And so at the end of this, if you have something that you're thinking about creating content with bulk wise, then I can break it down for you. After we go through all this, this is going to be a lot of lecture today, but I think it's really good information.
25 seconds.
I had a ruby red grapefruit juice and I misplaced it somewhere in my office.
Oh. My cat would not stop harassing my cup of iced tea and the plastic straw. I eventually gave him the straw and he went crazy with it, but then he came back a few minutes later to attack my cup. All right. Happy
All right.
New Year.
Great cat story.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, let's get started.
I am doing my best.
It looks like.
Oh, there we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right, we're in. And I'm also hearing this music in the background.
Yep, I am doing my best. There we go. All right, let's get started.
All right. Hey, everybody. Okay, so welcome to the Arts Academy, and I am Dean Victor Bernardo.
I am Rachel
self-appointed.
Sorry.
I said self-appointed Dean Victor Bernardo.
And I am Rachel Teichman, LCSW, appointed by the state.
Anyway, so here we go, everybody. We're going to get to it really quick. So bulk content creation. So the way that is most efficient to create content right now is bulk content creation. It's something that you can do where you can work for a couple of hours a month and then create content for like an entire month. And people are doing this, and they're really utilizing social media to grow, and anybody can do it. And when I do bulk content creation, I use systems that I learned when I was producing television, because when we were producing television, like, we have to do bulk content creation in some cases. And so I use that technique. I'm just using what I know and what I know works. I'm not saying that this is the way that everybody does it, but I come from an industry where, like, it was kind of standardized, like, hey, there's a certain way that you make things happen. All right. So I've got this slideshow, but the slideshow was made by AI. So we'll see how good the AI did making the slideshow, everybody.
Did you proofread it?
I did, but I only had a chance to do it like 20 minutes before this. So
okay.
we're kind of like, but I mean, I'll clarify. And I told it to be colorful. It made some mistakes, which is, it's interesting, but here we go. Let's get started. Okay. So we're going to talk about, okay. So when you are,
wait, sorry. Can you center that screen a bit better?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Don't think so. Well, I think it's how the slideshow is like. Yeah, it's not me. It's really, it's.
Oh, is that white background part of the slideshow?
Yeah, it's part of the slide.
Oh, okay.
Part of the slide. Sorry about that, everybody.
That's weird.
It is what it is. Got to lean to the right a little bit, everybody. All right. Okay. So there's four steps to bulk creation. Okay. There's like writing or coming up with the idea. There is content creation. That could mean shooting it. That could mean using AI. That could mean just taking photos. It could be anything, however you create the content, recording voiceover, blah, blah, blah. That could be. And then the next step is organizing assets. This is a step a lot of people skip, which slows everything down. Organizing assets is like one of the biggest steps. It saves you so much time in the last step, which is editing and output, which can be really, really super fast after you've organized everything. So those are the four steps. Okay. Writing or ideation, content creation, organizing your assets, and then editing. Those are the four things that you do. And let me just give an example of what bulk creation has done for me in the past. So there was this company for a while called eHow. They had a website called eHow.com. And what they did was they paid you $50, I think, per video. $50 per video to do like tutorials about fashion, about computers, or like whatever. And then by setting up bulk creation, I was able to create 40 of these videos to their level of quality in 4 hours. So I would create 40 videos in 4 hours, and they would be completely done, every single step. And I would make $2,000 a day by doing bulk creation. So I'm actually going to show you one of those videos at the end of this so you can see what it looked like, and I'll tell you also how it was done. Okay, let's talk about writing. Okay, this is where we start writing. Hey, everybody, let me just, I'm just making the screen bigger so that it's easier for me to follow along. Okay, so writing can be writing as in writing a script. It can just be half of an idea. When we did the videos for eHow, we just kind of had like a sentence or two about what the person was going to talk about. It just depends what you're. It depends what you're trying to create. Uh, then, then of course, there's like different types of ideation for different types of videos. For instance, like I might make a video that's like a talking head video, or I might make a video that's that's more like a documentary or taking verite footage and putting it together. Those have very different types of writing, whether it's like a straightforward script or the writing section of taking a bunch of old footage and putting it together to make something new, or a documentary piece is really about organizing, in fact, in that case. So at the top of deciding like what you're going to do, you're going to have to also decide like what is the writing or ideation process. So we're going to talk about a series of videos that I'm actually doing for Magic Bookify. And in these series of videos, I have like famous writers. I have famous writers talking about Magic Bookify as if like, as if they had Magic Bookify and how awesome it is. And then for each one of those, the writing process is like, I want to teach something about Magic Bookify. I want to have jokes about the writer's background, and uh, I want it to be funny. So then I know that the writing process for those is if I wanted to ideate like 30 videos at a time, I would list like a bunch of writers, a bunch of themes that I wanted to get across for Magic Bookify, and then work on scripts for those 30 videos all at once. So then once those 30 videos are done all at once, then I could actually do the creation I could do the I could do the content creation process in bulk. So for bulk writing of this idea that I'm talking about with Magic Bookify, in this case, I would come up with themes for each video, things that I wanted to teach about the app, and also themes and a story from the point of view of the author. Smash those together, make 30 scripts. Okay, then let's move on to the next step, which is content creation. All right. We talked about this a little bit. Content creation can, of course, be video creation. It can be video creation by like shooting. It can be AI creation. It can be repurposing old content. Maybe you're doing a voiceover. Maybe there's music. Maybe you're using design templates. Whatever. Like there's a lot of different ways to create the content for this series that I'm talking about, creating content for this Magic Bookify thing. What I'm going to do next, what I would do next is I would, in this case, because I'm using AI to animate the characters, I would then go back and create talking heads of the characters speaking the words I need to speak. So I record my own voiceover for the characters. I would use AI to change my voice so that I sound like William Shakespeare. And then I use AI to use a picture of William Shakespeare and lip sync it to put it all together. While I'm talking about this, I mean, I actually talked about this and wrote an article about actually like exactly how I made this video from beginning to end, but I'm just going to show you a clip of it just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because when we're talking about bulk creating a lot of these, I want you to know just like kind of what it is. I'm just going to show you the first couple of seconds. Here we go. First couple of seconds coming right up, everybody. You just wait. Here it is. It's coming your way. Hold on a second. I'm just getting this all set up. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm sharing audio, but we'll see, I guess, in a second. Here we go. So this is animated by AI.
It's me, William Shakespeare. I am thrilled to show you.
You hear that? Rachel?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
How Magic Bookifier can help turn your ideas into a book. Our suite of writing tools range from simple to full-on AI ghostwriting using your ideas. Let's kick things off with the Auto Writer tool. Just one sentence and boom, you've got a 2,000.
Okay, that's enough. But so in this case, I recorded my voice and then used 11 labs. Why did I say use it? And used 11 labs to change my voice. And then I also used Ideogram to make the character. And then I used Hydra to actually animate the character as far as like content creation goes. All right. So now let's talk about the next step after content creation. Okay. So organizing assets. Let me tell you why organizing assets is so important, and also why many people skip it. A lot of people skip it because they jump into editing. They're like, okay, I have everything I need somewhere. And then they jump into editing. And what happens is that you over and over again, you'll go hunting for stuff. So over and over again, you'll be like, oh, I need a shot of this, or I need this thing. Where can I find that? Oh, where's that? Where is that file? And it really, 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 really adds up if you just once at the very beginning put everything where it's easy to find. You save yourself so much more time. It's exponential. Trust me on this. I've worked on a lot of shows. Trust me. Okay. So organizing assets, the easiest way to do it, especially if you're working on something small like social media videos, the easiest way to do it is just like have organized folders. This is where the video goes, this is where the audio goes, this is where the pictures are, etc., etc. But the more files that you're working with and the more stuff it is, the better it is to really step up the organization. The best way to step up the organization is to have everything named, every single file named in such a way that if you threw all the files into the same folder, they would still be organized. This is something that I learned when I was working on a reality series that had maybe 12 cameras and audio sources and stuff like that. So, and here I'm going to talk very quickly about here how that would work. This could be in its own complete episode about how to organize data by naming. But here's the way that it works. Usually I would name any files that are involved with any production by the project, then by the content. Like, is it take one from scene one, camera one, etc., etc. So I would name project, I would name the content, then I would name the source, like the media. Is it a video file? Is it an audio file? Whatever it is, then I would name like any other information, so that if you threw all of the pieces of content into one folder and then sorted it alphabetically, they'd all be sorted by project, and then they would be sorted by project, and then what scene they were from, and then they would be sorted by audio, video, because you had named it like that way. And so the names themselves organize everything. That is a lot to do, but it's super, super useful if you're working on a giant project. But if we're talking about a smaller project, if we're talking about a smaller project, then you don't need to do necessarily all of that. But that's how it works. Okay. All right.
Lisa Harvey asks, "Hi, Dean and Rachel." You as in Dean.
Dean Vernado. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Can you share a good source for creating AI video clips?
Yes, I can share a good source. I would say a good source, the easiest source to learn is probably Runway. If you go to Runway ML, just Google that. That's probably the easiest one to learn because that's one of the most popular ones. You can also use Sora from ChatGPT, but the learning curve is a little bit higher. But Runway and ML is like the easiest one to learn. There is a lot, you have to search. There are a lot of free ones. You can go to like a lot of different AI video makers. If you just search for AI video maker, free trial, you could just bounce from one to another making videos all day if you wanted to, probably as well. All right, moving on. Okay, next is post-production or editing. This is actually something that I'm doing some experimenting with right now because there are new editing tools that make editing a lot easier. And so if you kind of like design your project around an AI editing tool that might work, that makes it really easy to do. And we actually kind of did this previously for some content for one of our podcasts, WikiListen. So in the podcast WikiListen, we have audiograms every day of the podcast, and we designed those audiograms around the editing system called Descript, because Descript is really good at working with editing by editing a transcript rather than editing the video itself directly. And so we designed our audiograms around working with the Descript. And then, of course, editing is also one of those things that could have its own episode. If you know how to edit, fine. But if you don't know how to edit, there are a lot of tools which are already set up to kind of like lead you through the editing process. I believe both on Canva and in Adobe Express, they have templates where you can set up a project. And in fact, any project that you're looking at that is probably a template that is on Canva or a template that is on Adobe, those are probably really ripe to be split up into like a bulk editing sort of a workflow, in fact. So I would really look at those. All right, so now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go on to look at two different projects that I've made in the past. Well, actually, one project that I made in the past that was bulk edited. We're going to look at one of the videos from eHow, and we'll talk about how those were created in bulk. And then I'm going to talk through one more time how I'm going to do the bulk editing for the Magic Bookifier videos. And then if you have questions about anything that you're trying to do with the bulk editing, then have those ready, because then I will answer those questions. All right. Let's go to the let's go first to the eHow video, and then we're going to go to the eHow video, and then we're going to these eHow videos. We're going to go to these eHow videos, and then we're going to talk about the Magic Bookifier videos. Okay, so let me show you what the eHow videos were. This is really funny. So this is like at a time in my career, this must have been like a decade or more ago. And I was just kind of like doing these videos on the side. And the idea was to create tutorial videos. eHow decided what they should be about. And then we would make the videos. And then we would do 40 of these in a day. And let me show you how it works.
I'm Aaron Tucker, and this is how to bind a tie. Binding a tie is essentially the exact same thing as tying a tie. It all depends on where you're from and what your verbiage is. I'll show you guys two ways to tie or bind a tie. Cross over the broader end across the skinny end and bring it through. Bring it up and over. Then you want to cross over.
Okay, and you get it already. And then at the end, it ends like this.
The little loop you have, you want to tuck through and create your knot.
Okay. All right. So let me talk about how those are bulk created. Number one, we had 5 different versions of the opening and closing graphics that had different music on it. So we would rotate those. We would this is how they would be shot. We'd have a list of 40 different topics that they would want us to talk through, how to bind a tie or whatever, things that they had researched through the internet and said, hey, these are the topics that people are searching for. Let's make tutorial videos about those. So we would have 40 topics, and then like one at a time, the person would just talk about that topic for like 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and then just go straight down the list one at a time. We would have a model ready to actually model the thing, and we would have 2 cameras, one on the main person who's talking and one that is doing B-roll, and we would just shoot that one after the other. It took 2 hours. Then we would take all of that footage and put it on the timelines, and they would stack up. In sync because the cameras were both shot at the same time. And then you would just have to like slap on the front thing, cut back and forth between those 2 things, and once you had all of the material set up correctly, it was very easy for the editor to just pull it in. And the editor would often edit 40 videos in less than like an hour, which is pretty crazy because but once everything was all organized, it was really, really easy for them to be like, this is the front, this is the end, here's the B-roll, and put it all together. And then so over the course of 4 hours, we were like completely done. We were completely done editing these 40 videos, and then we made $2,000, which we shared, and like that's like the power of bulk editing. Now, those 40 videos, we gave them to eHow, but imagine if we were using this technique now, because like this video right here, I think it has like 10,000 views or whatever. And yeah, it's got like 10,000 views. And so imagine you releasing videos like this that were made in one day, and then you release just like a bunch of them over time. You know, you've probably like grown your complete reach as a brand by a lot with only like starting out with like 4 or 5 hours of work once you planned it correctly. Okay, so let's look at the other video, and I'm going to talk about my plan on how we're going to put that together, and then that will be that for today. Oops, hold on one second. It is not doing exactly what I wanted to.
William Shakespeare. I am thrilled to show you.
We're not going to watch this whole thing again. We can watch it, but I'm just going to turn down the volume. How about that? Great. And slow it down so it'll last longer. Perfect.
Nice. Amazing.
That's right. Let's use technology for the best. Okay, so for this we talked about this a little bit, but let's just like break it down really quickly. I want to make these videos, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a list of things that I want to make the Magic Book of Fire videos about, things that I think are important for everybody to learn, of course, how the software works or how to do projects with the software. Then I'm also going to make a list of every writer. So far, I've done Jane Austen and I've done William Shakespeare, but we're going to make a list of a bunch more writers that we can spoof and use for this. I will then match those up, write scripts for all of them. Maybe I'll write like 30 scripts. Then I will, record them all in a day. The best thing about it is I can record them all with my voice or me and my friends, and then we can either use our real voices or have them, like I did for the Shakespeare thing, changed, for the actual production. Okay, and then once that's all done, then we will once that's all done, then we'll jump to organizing all of the assets. Well, I'll have to actually take those voiceovers, feed them to Hedra, so that we can create the lip syncs. I'll have to make the images for all of the characters, and then make those lip syncs. Get all of that media together. Then I'll have to organize it, and I'll probably just do folders. And like numbered, and by numbers of which actual piece that I'm doing. So like I'll probably just have like a number, like 1 to 30 of the different videos, and I'll probably like track everything by numbers, because it's like not a huge amount of data like it could be. And then after it's all organized, I'm probably going to like put it together really fast, because once I have like the screen captures, I have like the animated voice, the animated characters, and then the voiceover. And once I have them all in one place, it's really going to be pretty simple to just kind of like snap it together, kind of like Legos at the end, and then fine tune those edits, and then it'll be done. And then we'll have 30 or so videos. That's the plan, y'all. All right. That's the whole thing, though.
Wow.
If there's any questions about bulk editing, ask me now. I think one thing that we're going to do, we're going to offer it to the Arts Academy, the people who are in our Arts Academy school group. One of the things that we're going to do is I want to take all of my notes for this and all of my transcripts for this. We're going to combine it and have AI help us and write a full report based on this, so that anybody can just use it and be like, okay, these are all, and just like we'll have it organize it so that someone can easily look at it and say, okay, these are all the ways that I can bulk create things.
Your audio is sounding a little weird. Maybe like pause the video or something.
Well, weird is weird how?
Like I can understand you, but you're a bit muffled, maybe almost like try now.
Okay.
Oh, much better.
Okay. Well, I think we're done anyway.
Yeah. So to like sum it up, basically, like you think of your ideas, you let's say you're doing videos or I don't know, little writings. You write all those things first, shoot it all first, make your template if you're using one, change it up, and then like plug and play with the footage once if you're doing videos.
Yeah, and just to sum it up, those 4 steps are writing and ideation, content creation, organizing your assets. Don't forget that is going to help you a lot. And then editing. And then do those. If you do those things in bulk, then it's easy for you to do bulk overall content creation.
And then you were going to go through Helene's idea, right?
Oh, sorry. What was it again? Can you bring it back up on the screen?
Tarot deck. I want short stories about the cards as characters so I can animate them.
Okay. So short stories about the cards as characters. So you can so you're not trying to animate the cards themselves, but you want like an animated short story around the cards. And if I were going to do that, I would come up with a style that works for you in art wise, and I would use that to generate images, and then take those images to something like Runway to animate them. And I think that the biggest thing that you can do is have a specific style, and you can do styles in 2 ways. One way is that some actually AI image generators, they have like the ability to add a style, so you can use a picture or some other image for like a style reference. So some AI generators have that. For instance, Ideogram, which I use all the time, has a style reference, so you can like take any image and say, okay, I want these new images done in that style. But the second way, excuse me.
Sorry, I was saying Adobe does that as well. You can have a style reference.
Got it. Okay, and the second way that you can do a style is you can just put at the end of your prompt style of, and then tell it what the style should be. But rather than saying something like style of watercolor or something, if you're very, very specific about what the style is, then it will be more it'll be more consistent. An example of what I'm talking about is for Magic Bookifier. When I create images for Magic Bookifier, we always say that it's style of splotchy watercolor and ink with purple hues and abstract gears, because that is the purple and like gears are things that are always part of Magic Bookifier's brand. And so there's somebody at my door. I don't know why they're at my door, and but we're done anyway. So let's close this because I don't know why they're ringing it over and over again. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll wrap it. You go get the door.
I'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today for today's webinar. Make sure you check out our school community, which is Arts Academy. It's you can find it at artsacademy.com or at school.com. The URL is in the rolling banner below. It is free to join. MB says, thanks, guys. You are so welcome. Thank you for coming back week after week. So yeah, check us out on school if you haven't already. Go to artsacademy.com. These webinars, being free to the public, are becoming shorter and shorter. We're not going to do that anymore. It's only going to be available on our school group. So, get excited for that. Join us. Helene says, thank you. You are also so welcome. And thank you again for coming back every single time. We really appreciate it. And for anybody watching, thanks for joining. Hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, please ask them. And like and subscribe because it helps us so much and it's free to do. And we're just trying to grow like you. So thanks. See you next time. I love you.